Roger Davis, an English painter living in Morocco, has been testifying for 18 years through his paintings of his Morocco. There, the outcast, the poor, and daily life coexist. Moving from abstract to figurative art, Roger Davis gives us to see an unpainted ever Morocco. But more than that, he makes us think over.
Well, I'm in my room where I live, and this is where I spend most of my time, at this table, in my little kitchenette. I always paint what's familiar to me. I can't paint what's not familiar, and I find it quite pleasant. I like contrast. You have the kitchen and you have the outside. I don't like fantasy. I don't see any value in it. I came to Morocco with the specific reason to reevaluate what I was doing. Prior to coming here, I was doing abstract paintings for 25 years or so. Because of the country, because it's so different, I had to think in a different way. Nothing is familiar, it's completely different. But more than that, I had time to think. I just sat and thought, what can I do? What can I do? I don't want a painting just to be a decoration, which I come to the conclusion, abstract art is primarily a decoration. I came in December 1990, and I didn't paint the picture until May. And all the time I was drawing whatever I liked. I find that confusing, just drawing. I thought, no, you can't do that. You must do abstract. Then I have the argument, why can't you do it? There's no rules. And then I became more interested in saying something about what I saw. I first started using panels, which were oblong ones, in Agadir, for the simple reason I wanted to do a large painting. And living in a hotel, it wasn't possible to have a big canvas and then take that to England. So I sat and thought, well, who said you have to do it on one piece? So I painted it in separate pieces. So it's purely practical at first. Then it became a part of my thinking. And then I wanted to make things simpler, and the square is the simplest form you can have. So I started painting in squares format. And then the little squares fit into a large square, which also reflects in some way tiling, which you see everywhere in Morocco, far more than you'd ever see in England. Walls and everything is tiled. So I thought that's good. Then I started using grey for the same practical reason, because I used to bring paint from England, which was expensive, and I would run out of paint. So I do underpainting in grey and put the colour on top. Doing that, I saw many panels, I'd like them to be left grey. Then after a few months I started leaving them grey, and it directs the eye. I don't now want my paintings to be a colour experience. It's a way of, if I alternate the panels, to quiet the colours down, make them not so bright, and it can direct the eye and give a structure, which also gives direction. The way I work, I do a drawing there, quick drawing, then later I do a large drawing in detail. Then I divide the drawing up into smaller squares, which will correspond to the finished painting, and I analyze each square, and I concentrate on that one square at a time. With the large drawing, I cover it. I only see the part of the drawing that I'm painting. So I analyze it. Each one is painted separately. to a point that's almost finished. Then I synthesize, put all the squares together and paint them together. That has a value because where I don't look at each square, I paint a square, then put it aside. I don't look at it until I finish, and then I'm going to synthesize. If I was painting for a sky, for instance, I might have 8 different blues. From those 8 different blues, I would say, oh, this one's the best one, or that one. It gives me more choice. Yes. Breaking the rules is the most important thing. For example, putting things in the middle of the painting, which usually you don't do. I don't use any Greek golden rule, where before my paintings were based on the structure was a Greek golden rule, but I don't use that at all. I use a square rather than oblong. A frame is unnatural in any case. You don't see a frame when you look. There's no rigid square frame. It sort of shows that there's more, and it's breaking the rule that everything should be contained within the frame. Like I have figures walking out. None of those rules really mean anything. The only thing that you need with a painting is that it's balanced, it's complete, it's whole. So you see these figures going in and out, or a half a cup. You see that this is only a portion. There is more. But you feel contented that it is a whole. Well, the subject chooses me. I like to show often people on the margins, for people, things that can make you angry, the injustice sometimes, and just sometimes ordinary things that has an interest. The cliche, I painted the cliche when I first came here. I could do nothing else really, because I didn't understand the country. But the subject is very important. Well, it's very fast. It's a matter of seconds. For example, I was walking up along a main road, dark one night, and there was a transvestite prostitute being picked up by a client which was very middle class. That was surprising. And I stopped and watched the whole transaction. And what caught my eye was that the transvestite was all dressed up. She looked very sad. And that sparked off something in my imagination. It wasn't something sort of sordid, it looked sad. Well, he must have something to say, to show his time, to be critical, or draw attention to things that pass by, to be himself, not copy. Approval of what is approved of is as false as a well-kept vow. Well done, Oscar. Well done, Oscar.